Knitworthy podcast, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks.
Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of the Knitworthy podcast. Today is Friday, August 15th, 2014, and hello! Hi! I'm Brianne, one of your fabulous co-hosts, and I'm known as Being Brianne on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is my gorgeous mother.
Hi, I'm Linda, also known as Stony Brook.
Yes, you are. And you're on Ravelry and Instagram too by those names.
What?
Come, feel free to find us. It'll be great. We'll have so much fun.
Depends on the week as to how much I actually post in any of those things.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true. Well, how are you? How are you doing?
They're good.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, they had a fabulous week.
Yeah, that's good.
I've talked with each and every one of our listeners.
Oh my goodness, you've been busy.
All two of them.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
There's more than two of you. We know that. Well, let's see. Let's get to knitting. You know, this is like a knitting and spinning and fiber arts podcast.
It is.
And so let's talk about some knitting. Mom, what are you wearing?
I am wearing, what am I wearing?
It's right there. We have notes for this.
You know what popped up in, when I looked down is moogly.com.
I'm wearing the Moogly.
No, it's not. It's artfully simple, and it's patterned by Tamara Kelly. And I have had this, as a project I wanted to do for a long time. It's crochet.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so it's a really fun concept of just a very open work scarf. Isn't that fun?
That is very fun.
And then I got to use one of my check glass buttons.
Check like check mark, or check as in Czechoslovakia?
Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
There'll be a spelling test at the end. You got to spell it. Yeah. But anyway, so fun, and we'll talk about that more at the end. But I love it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I am wearing my cedar leaf shawlette by Alana Dacos, and it is out of Three Irish Girls Glenhaven Cashmere worsted, that in a beautiful green color that I bought at the spring fling from the Loopy U
when they were in
Missouri.
Oh,
yeah, they were in St. Louis for a while, and now they've a couple of years ago they relocated to Colorado. So if you're in Colorado, you need to go because it is like a huge yarn store. Yeah.
Is this the pattern that
is like the Saroyan?
Like the Saroyan.
It is.
Oh, fun.
The only difference is that with the Saroyan, you are knitting the leaves at the same time as you knit like this section. And with the cedar leaf shawlette, I'm going to get a little bit closer so you can see. You see, you knit the main body first, and then you have these live stitches, and you're doing the edging this way, and so you're binding off stitches here, and it's very neat. So it's just a little bit different than the Saroyan is.
Beautiful.
But the Saroyan is a free pattern.
Is the outer edge your cast off?
Yes.
I keep pointing places, don't I? It's begun already.
That's
Can I
okay.
do a disclaimer?
Of course you may.
I am so off this morning because once again, up way too late. I got excited about the postcard from the Ozark this week.
Guys, she loves you so much.
3:30 this morning.
I saw that you updated. We have our Knitworthy Gmail account, and so on our iPads and iPhones and stuff, we have a notes section where we combine all of our notes for the show notes. And I got up this morning to look at them, and I was like, 3:49? That's crazy, people.
But it seemed so important last night, and it was so much fun, and I was really into the spirit of it. So I'm a little off, so I'm already stepping on your toes. Don't mean to do that when you're talking. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's what happens.
Well,
this is...
Yes.
Oh, well.
Well,
it's all for you.
That's right. Well, what I wanted to talk about this is, this is the cedar leaf shawlette. Now, when I was, shawlette is the important word there, okay? When I picked out the yarn, I did not have this pattern in mind.
Okay.
And I love it. It's got a cashmere content, and so it is just fabulous.
Oh my goodness.
It is so squishy and wonderful, and it feels so good. But I, felt inspired by it, and I picked up 2 skeins, and then got home and decided I was going to knit this. Well, the thing is that the actual pattern, I believe, is written for DK weight.
Oh.
So it's supposed to be a lot smaller than this, and I'm going to unravel this, and you'll get to see how long my shawlette is.
Oh my. I think it's a shawlong.
I think you're right. But look at this.
Yeah.
It is so huge. And you know what? I almost never wear it because it is just so big.
This is wrong. But you know what? It looks gorgeous wrapped several times around you.
It does. It looks very pretty, and I do like it. And I would like to make that the shawlette again someday. But for now, I have one more skein of it because I ran out of yarn when I was originally knitting it.
Okay.
So I have this is 2 skeins of this, and then 1 other skein. So I'm thinking I want to rip this out and create something new with the 3 skeins of yarn that I have, and then knit this pattern in the actual weight yarn that it's called for. Am I crazy?
I hear them screaming right now.
They're
like,
crazy?
no!
Well,
there is more yarn in the world,
I know.
Well,
but see, I almost never wear it because it's just it's just awkward to me. It's not like it's
awkward.
It's not like it's very wide, and so if I wear it like this, then I've got these things that hang down almost to my feet.
Do you usually wear? Oh, you want to wear it like a scarf? Is what you're saying?
Well, no, not entirely. But I'd like it to be a little bit not as long.
Oh.
It's just too long. But you know me, I have no fear of ripping things out and starting again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I'm purloining, for those of you who listen to the Knit More Girls. They are an audio podcast. I love them so much, and you should be listening to them. They have a section where they purloin segments from other podcasts and use them in their show.
Are you purloining? Purloined?
I'm purloining. I'm purloining. They're purloined. I'm purloining this from the Prairie Girls Knit and Spin podcast.
Okay.
With Danny and Susie. They have a project reconsideration segment. So this is my project reconsideration. What should I do with this? So,
okay. You heard it here. Once again, you've got homework.
Yes. If you have any thoughts about this, please let me know. Tell me what you think. Is it okay as it is, or is it not? I don't know.
I love it.
Well, that's good.
Just for the record.
I'm going to put it over here because I feel very
You don't need any more warmth? What?
I do. Well, you are all about wearing all of your knitwear throughout the whole entire thing. I'm like, look what I have, and that's off.
She's smart.
Yep. What about gooseberries? What kind of gooseberries do you have for this week? Gooseberries are our tasty little treats from the week that we like to share with you.
Yes. And I had a wonderful one. It was my brother Gary stopped by yesterday, and he knew that we have some challenges going on and wanted to brighten my day. Brought me flowers.
It's so kind.
It's very kind. It totally surprised me.
Yeah.
I thought, what a neat thing. It's Walmart flowers. And how much are flowers at Walmart these days?
It's like $8, but still.
$8 made me so happy.
Yeah.
And so I thought, what a neat idea to pass along also is that I'm going to find somebody to give flowers to.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's like Evan with his PVC pipe that he makes into weapons. And, you know, it's like, maybe $3 worth of PVC pipe from Home Depot, but it makes him so happy. So I think for Christmas, we're just going to buy him some PVC pipe.
Good idea. I was trying to figure out how flowers were going to segue into PVC pipe.
I'm so good at segueing.
Good.
Yeah.
Good transition there.
I'm good. So speaking of my children, my gooseberry for the week is that, so part of Owen's chemotherapy is that he's on steroids for several days out of the month. So sometimes we, you know, have a very, very hungry boy, which is part of the side effects. And sometimes we have a very, very angry boy, which is part of the side effects. So he goes like, it's like the Hulk. You know, you never quite know when things are going to erupt.
Yeah, very short fuse.
Oh my goodness, yes. He saw the phrase short-tempered, and he goes, well, what does that mean, Dad? And Brian explained it to him last night. He goes, oh yeah, that's totally me. I was like, yeah.
He's like totally embracing that.
It is. He's like, yeah, that's just part of him right now. So anyways, what I was going to tell you is my gooseberry for the week is Owen previously, when he gets angry, will sometimes call me the misery maker.
We so want to make a button with that on it.
I do. Like, I don't even just want a button. I want to make a shirt.
A
like,
shirt.
I will probably
maker.
wear the shirt because I am the parent that he calls the misery maker.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
What a precious thing.
I embrace it, you know. But today or yesterday, one of those days, not today because it's too early in the morning for me to ruin his life. But let's see, how did I phrase it on here? Oh yes, I have been declared the stealer of children's dreams by oldest son Owen after I told him to clean up 10 things in the playroom. So that's it. That's all it takes.
Would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Would you actually perform the saying exactly how he says it? Because part of the charm of it is how he says these things.
Yes. He'll look at me and he'll go, you are the stealer of children's dreams.
Very melodramatic.
Thank you. It may run in the family. I'm not entirely sure.
Mm-hmm.
It totally does. It so runs in the family. Oh, goodness.
I love it.
I do.
It's great.
You know, I mean, the first time he ever called me the misery...
Sorry.
That's
I feel
okay.
like I'm like off the screen or something.
Oh, the first time he ever called me the misery maker, I was like slightly insulted, and then I had a hard time laughing, like not laughing as he was, you know, using it. And, you know, we talked about how, you know, it's disrespectful and everything, but honestly, you know, your children are not going to like you all the time, and so I just kind of have embraced it.
But how do you come up with that on the fly? Is what
I don't know. He is a very creative child. He's very smart.
Well, let's hope he doesn't stay up at night thinking of names to call you.
I'm gonna find a list someday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so
How is that a gooseberry?
because it made me laugh.
Oh, okay.
It was
I'm
so funny to me.
I had a root canal. That's my gooseberry.
No.
I didn't.
No, you didn't. But like I told Brian when he got home, and we were laying in bed, and I was like, "You are never gonna guess what Owen called me today." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "He called me the stealer of children's dreams." And we were like laughing so hard. We had to like stifle our laughs because we were afraid we were going to wake up other people.
And I think it was really just like he couldn't play on his video game all day.
Yeah.
You know, he actually had to do something else. You know, he
We're
could
the
only
worst parents ever.
Well, he could only play for like 2.5 hours or something because it's a summer. He could play more, and it was just horrible.
School starts next week for us, and so we're trying to ease them back into a normal schedule. And in a normal world where you're in school, you don't get to stay up until 9 o'clock every night. You have to be in bed by 8, and you know you're not able to play on games as much as you want to because you know you're in school and you have homework and you have to get back into reading because guess what? That's going to be part of your homework. So it's
Life
difficult.
is hard. It's hard.
It is. All right, Mom.
Yes, where are we now?
What are you knitting?
Well, the green socks. I didn't even bring them up.
You know, you need to make a project for those on Ravelry.
I haven't done that?
No, you have not.
I'll do that.
Okay.
So I know I probably did another few, like an inch or two on the green socks, but I did get some things done this week, so that's where most of my time is.
Okay.
Now I did want to say, I've mentioned several projects I was going to start.
Yes, that is like, I'm going to start this immediately.
Yeah, I changed my mind.
You're totally
This
allowed
is
to
the
do
way
that.
I do. So I was going to do the nostalgia shawl. But with the beginning of school and stuff, I thought, do I really want to have a shawl that I'm thinking about? So instead, I was listening to the beautiful Tanya.
Yes.
Sampler Girl. I don't know if you have you listened to her?
I have.
Yeah. And she's so fun. Anyway, she went to the beach and she took a picture of her beach knitting, which was, I'm going to see here. What is it
It's
called?
at the top.
Okay. It is the Just Knit It by Stitch Nerd Designs. So fun. It is really it's totally my kind of thing because it is any yarn and knit until you run out of yarn kind of thing. So, it's like you can just customize it for whatever. And I want to do my hand spun that I did, the pretty Japanese ladies or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then the gray yarn from 100th Sheep, who is Peggy. And I wanted to do a shawl varying those two. And it's a garter stitch shawl. And so I think it'll be lovely and I will enjoy using those. And I thought this is probably a better fit for getting onto a new schedule and those kinds of things. And I still plan on doing nostalgia shawl, but I thought I'll wait till I have a little more brain power to approach that and not have to rip back 3 times. So
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea.
thanks.
Yes.
I thought of it all on my own.
Oh my gosh, you're amazing. I think that we should reserve the right to say things on this podcast like the next thing I'm going to cast on is this, and then just change our minds.
Yes. And I think I told you I was going to try a Tunisian crochet shawl that I was doing skinny, and I was going to use a bunch of scraps.
Oh, the one that you were going to kind of design the pattern for.
Ripped it out. It just wasn't pleasing me.
That sounds very royal.
Thank you.
It wasn't pleasing me.
Yes. So I just decided, it's all right. So go on to something else. And it's a little idea that's niggling in my brain. And when it's ripe, we shall pick that idea.
Well, there you go.
But we shall not pick it before it's ripe.
No, we can't do that.
That's how I live.
All right. Let's see. So I'm going to find something on my phone because it all has to do with this. So you remember last week how...
I do.
I'm very proud of you.
Lord, I remember last week.
Well, last week we had, I had the sweater and I had the whole thing about Camp Loopy, Project 3.
Oh, that's right.
And I was feeling kind of disappointed, just because what am I doing with my phone?
She's all over the world.
I don't know where I am.
I just saw Japan.
I found it. So I was kind of disappointed about my sweater. And so the next day, I didn't even knit the rest of that day. That last Friday, I know. That after we podcasted, because I was just a little bit down about my sweater.
Really?
I was. And so I was on Instagram and I was inspired by someone. It was Annie Light Knits. Annie, ANNIELIGHTKNITS. And she had written, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that an empty pair of sock needles must be in need of a sock," which is coming off of, Pride and Prejudice, in which it says, "It is a truth universally acknowledged that, a single gentleman who has a fortune is in need of a wife." Yes. And so I love that. So I got inspired and I was like, I'm going to knit all the things. And so then the next day on Sunday or Saturday, I pulled out some skeins and I worked on some socks and I cast on some things. And I have plans for things and I was feeling just very inspired. So I have put on quite a bit of progress on my second Lena sock. So here's my little stitch marker. So I have done that since...
Good job.
Thank you. I did that since Sunday. I started working on these.
Wow.
So
good job.
Here's my... I don't know if you can see it. That dark line right there. That's going to be for my afterthought heel. And then, let's see. What else did I find? I'm going to go to my magic bag. The podcasting bag.
Mary Poppins.
I am like Mary Poppins. happens. And then I cast on a sock. And I decided I have brought in some really fun yarn into my stash recently. And so I wanted to start the socks. I know. Look at these socks. I'm going to move this stitch marker really quick. This is the Turtle Made yarn in the berries colorway that I brought into my stash last week. Do you remember that? Look at how cute that is. Now, before it looked very purpley, and now it doesn't look as purpley. It has a lot more pink to it. And let me show you how it's knitting up.
That is so pretty.
Oh, I got like a little knot there. That's not fun. Can you hold that for a second? Thank you so much. It's like tied around my little thing here. Come to me. This is really, really great podcasting.
Watching
right here.
paint dry, untying knots.
Oh yeah.
Podcast.
So look at how fun that is.
I love that.
And you know what I really like is I like that within each color it's very tonal.
Isn't that fun?
It's not like a solid purple or a solid darker pink or a solid mauve. It has a lot of color variation within each color. And I love that. That is so fun. So Jen from Turtle Made, this is awesome.
We both like it. Mm-hmm.
We do. And so I might have put some other things into my cart.
Oh,
I didn't actually buy anything yet.
You're dreaming.
I'm just dreaming because
I'm back up to 99 things in my Etsy cart again.
You are? Oh my word. Oh mom.
It's a sickness.
Yes. Well, so this is the first of the things that I cast on.
And you told me that you felt that would be a very sturdy sock.
Yes, I did.
Which we need.
Yes. It's let me see if the tag is in here. And Turtle Made, she's on Etsy. It is superwash merino and nylon. And so that is going to be a good sock. And it's not like an incredibly smooth sock. It makes me think of like Regia and trekking, which those socks last forever. So this is going to be a really good sock to have in my sock drawer.
I'm hard on socks, so that would be a good thing for me.
Yes, that is true. Not that that's a hint or anything. Let's see. I also have, yes, there we go. I also have the,
I love that bag too.
Thank you very much. The Freshwater Pearls yarn from Etsy that I purchased, and I have not done anything yet with it.
Wow,
but I have plans for it. Isn't that pretty? Just all skeined up. I'm going to make the Spring Forward by Linda Welch. And this I'll probably cast on in the next couple of days. But I really...
Is that... What article of clothing is that?
It's going to be a sock.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I want to finish up the Lena sock. So that's pretty much exclusively what I'm working on right now, just because I am emotionally done with those socks and it's time for them to be done.
You want a divorce, don't you?
I don't want a divorce because I want the socks.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, I need a vacation from the socks, so I need to finish them up really quick so I can just be done.
You'll love them once they're done, though, won't you? Because they're beautiful.
Yes. And then the last thing, I told you I wound up a bunch of stuff.
I am impressed. I have some winding to do.
Do you?
It's not one of my most favorite things.
No.
Surprise.
Well, my ball winder is like 8 years old, and it's kind of coming to the end of its lifespan.
That might be a good birthday present for you.
I think so. If you would like to buy me a ball winder, my birthday's in October.
Oh, I was thinking me, because they really don't buy you presents for your birthday.
Oh, that's true.
Sure.
My birthday is in October. If you would like to buy me one.
October?
So first let me show you the yarn, because this is a beautiful, beautiful yarn. It's a brown color, and it's from Indigo Moon.
Chocolate.
Yes, and it's 100% superwash merino, 370 yards of fingering weight.
Ooh, that's a cushy yarn.
It is. It is. And I wish you could see how beautiful it is. I bought this. This was another one that I bought at the Loopy U during the spring fling. And so I have it in my really cute Chicken Soup Designs bag. So adorable.
I love mine like that.
I know. know. I love it. And this is going to turn into something that I have not made on while we've been podcasting yet. I was gifted a pattern from Queen Cindy 2. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, nice.
Yes, and she and her friend, the treadmill knitter, who is the designer of this project, it's the Mountain Retreat Mittens. And I have not knitted mittens in a while.
That would be a beautiful yarn for a mitten.
Wouldn't it?
Yes, the tonal quality, it's going to be gorgeous.
Yes, and I think, it's superwash, so it's going to be, it won't felt like, when you're playing with the kids in the
Good
snow
idea.
and all of that. So I'm very excited about that. I don't have a picture with me right now to show you. But
Is it a plain stockinette mitten, or is there a pattern? Is it a lot of patterning, a little bit
it's
of patterning?
a little bit of patterning that goes up the hand like this. And so you should go to her group, and they're doing a knit along that's starting September 15th.
Whose group?
The treadmill knitter.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so she has a knit along that's starting, and so I'm going to try to be patient. I already have the pattern.
Good idea.
But I've been looking at it, and I think it's going to be really good. So
I wonder if she knits on a treadmill.
she does.
What?
That's what Cindy said, that she actually can knit while she's on a treadmill. Hello. That is a talent right there.
We talked about knitters and their special talents, and that is definitely a talent.
Oh, for sure.
That's great.
Yes. Okay, so that's what's on our needles.
How fun.
Why don't you tell us what came off of your needles?
Well, let's see.
Not that she's excited, but wow.
Well, I told you I was going to report back after I had a chance to use my Flower Power dishcloths.
Yes.
They are fabulous.
Yay.
Let me tell you what I like about them. In actually using them, they are, and I made more, and that's the reason why I'm bringing them up again. I made all of these.
Oh my goodness.
Because I want to replace a lot of my ones that are really looking haggard. And I got a review back from one of our listeners that says she maintains its color pretty well. So that'll be my next purchase.
Is that the one from Knit Picks?
Yes.
Okay.
I should have mentioned that, yes.
Well, that's okay. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, so what I love about it is, like, let's say, I just thought I was going to use it for, like, drying my hands or washing my face, that kind of thing. Actually, I've been using the scrubby dots for washing my face.
Oh,
I love
really?
that because I can really get in there, and not like I wear a lot of makeup, but it's easier to get in corners and things with
Yes.
it. I love it.
Your face is not one-dimensional.
It is not one-dimensional. So anyway, I decided, we were getting ready for company, and I decided I'm going to try using it because I happened to have it handy and I was really in a hurry. Sprayed down the counters and I'm wiping, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this fits the hand just perfectly.
That is.
It is great. And my husband even likes them.
Really?
I know.
Wow.
So I thought I'm going to knit up the dishcloth cotton I have in these. And these are the ones that we decided they wash beautifully and stack nicely in the cupboard. I mean, in the cupboard, in the drawer.
Yeah?
And so I love them.
Yay.
Made more. Sorry, that's the excitement this week.
Well, that is very cool.
And then I decided to get back, get another flower done from my beekeeper quilt.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that this is I don't know, is it back side or front side, but anyway, whatever side I want it to be. But this is the hand spun from Wool Sunday, the last little bits of it. I might have enough to make one more of these. But how fun that I get to use the quilt and remember what I made with them. And
Yes.
I remember spinning this, and I loved knitting this this fiber from Wool Sunday so much. I could imagine I'll have to make another purchase. Just saying. At some point when we're ready for that.
I don't have anything of hers in my cart.
Yeah, so I felt excited to get another flower done. I don't have any done in
Yes.
pink, so I'm going to have to do a few more kind of pinky things, or else this is going to stick out like a sore thumb. But it's going to be a long-term project, so I'm sure pink yarn will come my way at some point.
I'm sure it will. Yeah.
So
How
that's
neat.
that. Those were fun. Enjoyed it. So it was not. Oh, and I made this.
Your scarf.
I'm like, didn't I do more than that? Yeah. So what I wanted to show you, the concept behind this scarf. I'm going to take it apart. because it's quite clever. All right, so it is artfully simple. Of course, you know when I'm on camera. Bria, fill time.
Okay, so once upon a time in a far, far land.
Don't tell a story.
Don't tell a story.
Just kidding.
What fun is that? Stories are the best.
Okay, so if I wasn't under the pressure of being on camera,
Yes.
this would have come off much easier, but the idea is it can be worn, like many other eternity style scarves, can be worn many different ways. I showed earlier. It is a series of chains and double crochets.
Very cool.
And so it's a very forgiving fabric. This one was done in Red Heart Treasures in the Spectrum colorway. I just did it, actually it calls for 2 skeins.
Mm-hmm.
It's a woolly yarn, a woolly single.
Okay.
Okay, so what I wanted to say first was about Red Heart Treasures. The colors are gorgeous. There's a lot of really pretty colors to choose from. It says purples and pinks in it, and so I love that part about it. But with a single, I had to frog a few times because I'll talk about that in my Are You Kidding Me? But it will come apart if you
Yes.
have to frog too much.
Yes.
Which tells you why I'll be having that. Are you kidding me? So I would say this yarn does not enjoy being frogged. There is wool content in it.
Uh-huh.
There is some acrylic.
But just not enough to keep it from holding together well.
It does hold together, but it's not frog worthy. It's not something that you want to
Do a lot of practicing on?
do a lot of practicing on. I kind of know what you're doing before you do it.
Yeah.
I ended up actually throwing away the first few rounds of one of the times just because it was such a pain to undo.
Well, that's
So
sad.
it's not like mohair where it really attaches to itself. But then she has you creating a loop with a buttonhole and 2 ties. And this goes around the scarf and just is a little decoration. You don't have to use it. It's, you can take it off. But look at the gorgeous button.
That is beautiful.
So I have a thing for buttons. Someday I'll talk about it, but it started with my grandmother who used to have a button box and she'd let me string them. And she would have me be queen for a day.
Oh.
And on Queen for a Day, you got to eat in Grandpa's bed, and you got anything you wanted, and she's treated you she was serving you like a queen. I don't think that's ever going to happen around here. But my grandmother was a lot nicer than I am. And so I have such a fondness for buttons, and I do different things with them. And this one I thought would be fun to wear around here because there's like some bringing out the pinks and stuff. But
I can see that.
I have many buttons that will someday have a home. I even have, and someday I'll show you because I love it. I have a vase full of buttons.
Yes, you do.
And I put my spindles in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just thought I'd take it off for a minute and show you how long it is. 2 skeins worth. Honestly, if you're going to wear it doubled like they show in the pattern with the thing around it, I would suggest just doing 1 skein's worth. Unless you really like a bulky cowl. This is a lot to wear around your neck.
Well, yes.
So I think it would if it's just one skein's worth, it's going to be more like this, more like it held singly when it's doubled, and that's probably more something I would do.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do if I were knitting it again, and I can see knitting this again. I can see this being a lovely pattern.
Crocheting it again?
Let's try crocheting it because that's what the pattern's written for. But I'm thinking I could see this working with hand spun.
Oh, yeah.
Especially something with a color transition. That could be quite lovely.
That would be really fun.
This one, the transitions are much more subtle. So anyway, that was the other thing I made, and I'm glad I made it. Also, I was so excited because I was waiting for my second skein to arrive, and
Yes.
guess who popped up this pattern in her finished objects?
Who?
Our friend Sylvie.
Oh, my goodness.
Sylvie Share.
Seriously?
Yeah, she made it. Hers was gorgeous.
What'd she use to make hers? Do you know?
No idea, but it was really pretty.
Okay.
I need to find out. So anyway,
We're coming after you to find out what yarn
poor
you
Sylvie.
used.
She can't get rid of me now.
No.
One time she says something nice about me, and then she never can lose me.
That's right. She latches on.
I do. But you can see it's a super long scarf. I mean, it probably comes down, to mid-thigh for me. So if you're going to wear it without it being doubled, it's going to be a bit long. But I do like the length they had, I think 4 or 5 ideas of how to wear it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it was good.
I like it when they give you, ideas of how to wear things.
Yes. Especially scarves. When you get so many beautiful scarves and it's like you're trying to put it on and I look at myself and go, How
do I feel about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have finished nothing. I've been so busy casting on things and planning things and
Yeah. Being the destroyer of children's dreams. That takes time.
It does. It takes time
It's a full-time
and energy.
job.
I have to plan a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's time to clean up 10 things.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay, really? 10 things? It makes me the destroyer of children's dreams. 10?
She's really going to have to go to counseling over this.
Sheesh. Oh, my kids will.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. Or both. Who knows? All right.
Spinning. I am so happy to show you this spinning.
Yay!
This is one, I think that the fiber itself was not one that you just I fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's normally people pick really bright colors or whatever. This just was so intriguing to me because it was so creamy.
Oh my
and it had
goodness.
hints of blues and grays.
Wow.
And I finally got it plied.
That is so beautiful.
And what I'm really excited about was I split the skein in half. Not the skein, I split the fiber in half and then spun it. I asked Brianne if she minded if I did that because she was going to make socks out of it. Mm-hmm. I got the exact same yardage on both.
That is magic.
I mean, it might be a foot or two off, but that's what it said.
That's incredible.
And so the yardage, where is it saying? Here we go. 226 yards each. So it's
297 yards. 250,827 yards.
450 yards. How about that? Close enough. Sheesh.
We are so good at math.
And the funny thing is, I got straight A's in math. It just doesn't ever stick.
Yeah,
My husband remembers every number. Yeah. But anyway, I love it. I think it's going to make a fabulous sock. I ended up doing Navajo ply.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad I did because there are some places that are a tad thinnish. I wouldn't want 2 plies of that. I tried to add extra twist to it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's a fabulous sock.
I was going to ask you about, are you happy? Because you said that you were not sure if maybe you wished that you had fractal spun it, or how do you feel about it now that it's actually completely done?
I think I will know more when I see it knitted.
Okay.
I think it's lovely in the skein. It's actually quite different than it looked on the bobbin. It looked very segmented on the bottom. On the bobbin, where it had the cream and the colors and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping this is kind of what is being tested right now is how much for each roving that you get that is multicolored.
Yeah.
How do I spin it in order to make it its best? And sometimes we really want to do Navajo plying because I think it's also called chain plying because it keeps colors together. And so instead of mixing things up so much, you get a little bit of a color progression between them. But fractal spinning is where you take the roving, like say if this is the roving and you split it in half this way. And then this one, you spin just as it is. So you get long color repeats on one bobbin.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take this one and you maybe split it 3 times. So it's a little thin, like finger size.
Like a pencil roving kind of size.
Like a pencil roving size.
That's as much as I know about spinning.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then when you put them together, you've got quick repeats, long repeats together, and it makes for a really interesting spin that's very balanced looking.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, your test of socks will be the thing that tells me if I wish I would have fractal spun it as opposed to Navajo plying.
I'm feeling the pressure.
I know.
Yeah. Those are gorgeous.
Yep, I love it.
So beautiful.
Sometimes, sometimes you want that flash of color, like last week was that bright yellow scarf that I love.
Yeah.
And this week it's very subtle.
Yeah.
Reminds me of clouds.
It does.
Oh, I should say it's Unwind Yarn Company.
Yes.
And do I know what it is? Alpine colorway.
Yes, in the Superwash BFL.
It does kind of have a woodsy, kind of like snow and
Yeah.
winter and
Yeah.
in the mountains.
Beautiful.
So there.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're so sweet to me. Love you too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I can't wait to see. And that's for socks for you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm
Yes.
not giving you yarn to make me socks. So.
That has happened before, though.
It has.
But
Not this time.
I would like for you to
We're in front of a
do this.
camera now. I've got to be generous. Not really. I did it because I really wanted to do it for you.
Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Mom,
Yes.
are you kidding me?
Yes, I do have a huge Are You Kidding Me this week.
Okay.
This scarf, artfully simple, I made ever so not simple. Okay, here we go once again with the same issue that you can have knitting or crocheting is trying to get a piece perfectly in the round without a twist.
Right.
Now her pattern said, don't worry about if you get a twist in it because it doesn't matter. And I can see where it wouldn't matter, but 3 times I got like 2 or 3 twists.
Seriously?
After being ever so careful.
Oh.
And laying it out, how they tell you how to
Oh, yeah.
lay it out into a circle
Yeah.
and make sure everything's facing the same way, but yet I managed to do it again. So then I'm like, what is the deal? Because I was so careful.
Yeah.
And so I decided to revert to my tried and true method of doing a knitting in the round without creating a Mobius.
Yes.
Okay, and a Mobius, if you don't know, is a circle that has 1 twist in it. And they are wonderful things when they're intentional.
I've had a lot of unintentional ones.
So what I do is I don't knit in the round.
Okay.
Okay, so this would apply to knitting or crochet. You can do it. So if you're doing a cuff down sock, a top down sock,
Yeah.
you can do the same thing. You cast on your stitches
Yes.
or do your chains if you're crocheting.
Yes.
Do your first row. Okay?
Yes.
Leave a long tail when you cast on.
Okay.
All right? Do your first row. By the time you do your first row, you have enough bulk there to easily see if you have a twist. Then, from the second row on, you knit in the round. Okay? When you're done, you go back. You only have you have a tail that can weave in the gap of that first row.
Oh.
So no one will ever see it. You have to weave in that anyway.
That's true.
I mean, you can't get away without weaving that tail in anyway.
I mean, although I have heard of some people who don't even ever weave in the ends in their socks. They just wear them.
Let them
that.
hang.
Yeah.
Wow, that would bug me.
Would me too.
But it's so much easier, and after I did, I thought, why didn't I just do that to
That's a
begin
good
with?
idea.
But, you have to weave it anyway. There's no way you ever tell. By the time you weave it in, it looks just like you had done it in the round to begin with. You can even, if it's really thin yarn like sock yarn, you're still having a hard time seeing it, do 2 rows. 2 rows still isn't going to be noticeable.
Right.
And then when you go back and get it all straight and do in the round, you're going to feel so smart.
So true.
Saves hassle. So don't give yourself a headache over creating Mobiuses over and over again. The lesson I learned this time, just go for the tried and true and don't think you got to be fancy and,
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not fancy, people.
So
Did you have one?
I did.
Oh, no.
I got caught without knitting someplace. I know.
What?
I was stuck and I had no knitting.
Who are you?
I know. And it was very sad.
You who had car knitting forever. Where you don't have your
Well,
car?
I had Peepa's car.
Oh.
But usually when the kids were in school, I always just had knitting in my car because I, would knit in the car line while I was waiting for them.
Okay.
But I didn't have any knitting with me. And I thought it was just a short little thing. And I had left my my knitting at her house because we went out for a little jaunt. And then it ended up turning into a longer jaunt with some
That was
downtime
almost
in
French.
between.
A jaunt.
A jaunt. Wow.
Oui, oui. Love it.
Yeah, just in case you're wondering. 2 people, 1 braid.
I'm using hers today because mine's gone.
So anyways, that was are you kidding me? So now I have put, my plan is to take the turtle made socks, the ones that are just like a plain stockinette, the striping ones,
yes.
and keep that in my purse. And that'll just be my purse knitting for forever.
Because you'll feel happy just to have one stripe knitted.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes you feel like as opposed to a solid sock that you'd be like, I don't think I made any progress today.
Right. And I don't feel any pressure to get those done, anytime soon. And so I think that'll just be good.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So
good idea.
Yes. What about, have you gilded the lily? Have you added to your stash?
I added to my cart for sure.
Well, that doesn't count.
Okay.
We don't count those things. It's kind of like how you don't count sock yarn is really coming into the stash, or like vacation yarn.
Vacation yarn.
Vacation yarn
That's
doesn't
just a
count as
souvenir.
adding to the stash. Yes, it is a souvenir.
It is.
Adding to your cart, that doesn't matter because you haven't actually purchased it.
Okay.
Now, once you purchased it, then you've gilded the lily.
It's mine in my head though.
Is it?
All 100 items.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot of things.
A lot of pressure knitting, so I don't want to actually buy them
Yeah.
until I'm really ready to start a project.
Good plan.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me how you gilded the lily.
It's not exciting. It was just a skein of Red Heart Treasure to finish the scarf.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, that's not too bad.
I actually ordered from Amazon, and I think I paid too much for it, but we are car sharing at this point, and so I didn't have a car available, and I just thought, let's just have them bring it to me. That's what Amazon Prime is for.
This is why we have Amazon Prime.
I think all yards should be on Amazon. Shouldn't they?
Yeah. That would be so dangerous.
It would be dangerous.
That would be totally
Yeah.
dangerous. But 2-day shipping?
I know.
Hello.
Yeah.
We
So
love
anyway-
Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
All right. Tell me about your It's a Good Thing.
Okay, I have to look, refresh my memory.
Yes.
What is my good thing? I have no idea.
It's right here.
Oh, I know. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to put pictures right. Let's see. Let me talk about it first.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to break our podcast, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. But do you ever I remember one time I had our good friends, their high school age son was eating dinner at our house. All of a sudden I go, you got your braces off. And he goes, yeah, like a year ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Seriously?
So sometimes I'm a little oblivious. And so this may be something that you guys all know about.
Okay.
But the last one, we're really looking at the pattern page in Ravelry.
Yeah.
Where you search for patterns or you see what new patterns are coming up. And I usually try and go through. I love seeing, what random things people have designed patterns for. And sometimes you find gems, and it's so exciting to be the first one to go, favorite. But what they have on there now is, let's see what they call it. It's called Your Pattern Highlights. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have.
Okay, I haven't. So I'll tell you what it is first, and I'm going to show you. So on your pattern page, where you can search for patterns, down in the lower right-hand corner, it says Your Pattern Highlights. And you can customize it. Mm-hmm. So you can say what kind of patterns do you want to see. And what they do is they look through I think it's your favorites.
Okay.
Or it could be your projects, I'm not sure which. And they choose patterns that they think are closely related to things that you like to do already.
Okay.
And so sometimes it's a fun way to find a new pattern. And actually, I found a couple patterns.
Oh, did you?
I was really excited because I found a very small granny square flower pattern.
Uh-huh.
And the concept of it was for using up scraps.
Yeah.
And I thought that would be fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try that. And there was some really fun scarf patterns and hat patterns. I don't think I mentioned this.
What?
I'm trying to find a hat.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it in a minute though.
Okay.
So I'm going to break now. I'm going to show you a couple videos to get you knowing what I'm talking about. Because if you haven't found it, it's pretty fun to have somebody shop for patterns for you.
Yes.
So here we go. Here is Your Pattern Highlights. Okay. Ta-da! What did you think?
Was it the coolest thing ever?
Yeah, you knew about it, but thanks for acting surprised.
You are so welcome. That's what I'm here for.
But maybe one of you haven't seen that, so it was fun to me, and I thought, what a cool idea.
Casey is always bringing out new things for Ravelry. They work so hard to make sure that they're when they get ideas, that they're actually listening to them, and if they can make it happen, they really do try. And I think that is so awesome.
And it's becoming quite a cumbersome database without having special searches and without having something to tailor. You could spend
days.
You could. And I don't know if you do this.
What?
I'm the 99 cart person.
Yeah.
And also, if I'm looking for a hat, did you know that I have to see every hat pattern?
Like
thousands I've looked through.
Are you kidding me? Like every single pattern you have to look through?
200 pages worth or whatever it was. I looked through every single one.
Did you really? No.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so what I decided, and I don't know, so let's see if we have, I'll try and make this quick.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a long thing? I'll deciding how quick I need to make it. But, this was the week that Robin Williams passed away.
Yes.
And that was really hard.
Yes.
And because he is so funny and has so much going for him.
Yes.
And he chose to take his life.
Yes.
And it was so tragic. And Brienne and I were talking, and we're going to probably handle this on another episode, but when life events happen that are kind of upsetting, and it's not like I knew him or like he was my,
favorite person in the whole entire world.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought he was so funny. Yes. My kids. But we were talking about how important it is to be comfortable with who you are, and we don't know why he chose to do what he did, and maybe he's perfectly comfortable with who he was, but there are a lot of people that some of these tragedies that have happened at schools where kids have taken drastic action and stuff. It's usually you see a sense of disconnect with their world around them, and not feeling good about who they are, whether it's someone else making them feel not good about who they are or they don't feel good about it. And it's so important in this life to be accepting of the person God made you to be.
Absolutely.
And I've been on a journey of doing that, my whole life probably. Because I told Brienne earlier, when I was in junior high school, I really didn't know me. I tried out to be a cheerleader.
Did you know I told Peepa that yesterday, and she laughed so hard she got Peter pants.
First of all, so uncoordinated. And I have no interest in football.
Or any sport for that matter.
But I think in that age, I thought magically I would become beautiful if I was a cheerleader and popular, maybe. Yeah. I don't really have that issue anymore. I have no preconceived notions that somehow I'm going to become a cheerleader someday. But I decided that I'm going to embrace who I am. And one of the things that I've done is colored my hair for a long time.
Yes, you have.
Because somehow in this culture, it's very important to be young. You can't look like you're getting older. God forbid. And so I decided that I was going to grow my gray hair out. But, I've got some length to my hair. And so growing out is going to be a long process. And so I decided I got to find some hats. And so that's where all the hat looking came from. But I think, until we get a chance to handle it more like we're thinking, I just want you guys to know we love you how you are. If you meet us, don't put on makeup. Don't feel like you got to get all fancy for us because, we're all about what's on the inside. And I think, just embracing the face God gave me. I don't wear makeup every day. I wear makeup sometimes for this because I look really slick if I don't on camera. But wear makeup if you like it, if you love it, just because it's fun. Just like yarn is fun for us. If makeup is your thing, go for it. Yeah. But don't do it to mask who you are. Find people who embrace you.
Absolutely.
And I think in the knitting community, I have found that more than anywhere else, that I have found a lot of you knitters out there and crocheters are so wonderful about embracing people no matter what they look like. Did you know I'm not skinny?
What?
I know. And you know what? That's okay. It may not, I wish I was skinny, but my body isn't skinny right now. And so I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm just going to embrace the person I am now. And if I change later, great. But I'm not going to mess up my life because I'm not somebody else.
No.
I'm going to embrace being who I am.
Absolutely.
So that's a really off-topic thing that related to hats, but that's why I'm looking for hats, because I thought that's what I need to do is find some fun hats to help me as I'm growing out my hair and embracing my gray hair. I'm 56, that's what I am. I have gray hair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where my head was this week.
That's good.
Thanks.
Yeah. That's, it's hard to open up about things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I think, starting that conversation, especially with our kids, is really important. And I'm glad that you're talking about it.
Yeah, it's been brewing in my head, so now
We're going to share it with you.
I've released it.
Yes, let it brew in your head for a little bit. Well, I'll tell you about it's a good thing.
Okay.
So, I have a big bag that I take with me when I go help take care of Pipa, who is my grandmother. You are not my grandmother, is your mom.
Right.
Just to clarify, she has dementia, and I go over to her house a couple days a week and help take care of her and get her to the...
She does a good job, too. She does such sweet things for my mama. I love that.
One of the things that I do is I take her to the beauty salon, and yesterday she got her hair styled and she got a pedicure, and I don't need a pedicure. I can take care of my own feet, but
Who did it?
Miss Amanda did.
Miss Amanda.
And I asked Amanda on our way out, I was like, how did she do? She goes, she purred like a kitten the whole time. I love it, so we're going to keep on doing those because, she does have a harder time taking care of her feet. And
she's worn polish on her toenails as long as I can remember.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, I have a big bag that I bring with me, and then, the kids put their stuff in it, and I have my stuff in it, and I have a knitting emergency bag in there, but I realized I don't have one for my purse.
Oh.
And so I made a knitting emergency bag, and you may...
Fun. Oh, what a good idea.
You may recognize this bag from last week. Tanya.
Sampler girl.
Yes. So I use this. It's not completely stocked because I don't have a pair of scissors, but I'll show you what I do have in there. Because maybe you need a knitting emergency bag for your purse.
I'm guessing it's not a sweater.
It's not a sweater in here, no. So I have a little
cute
loopy U thing, and inside are Post-it notes. Small Post-it notes.
Do they sell those, or is that from a...
No, they sell them.
They do.
Yeah, and little taggy things. So in case you need to, mark something in your pattern. I have a pen. I have stitch markers, and then inside of this little thing, there are 2 darning needles. What else do I have? I have some waste yarn in case I get to a point where I need to put something on waste yarn.
Heel or whatever.
Absolutely. What else? Oh yeah, you have to have a tape measure with you.
Is there actual knitting in there?
No,
Oh, it's like emergency knitting supplies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then I have a Lolo bar, which is a wonderful lotion bar that I love. And this one's actually almost gone. But I figured, I don't need a whole one in there because hopefully I won't be digging into it too much.
It's not fun to have your hands, catching on yarn.
No, I hate that. And my hands do get rather dry. So
I'd totally stick a crochet hook and a small ball of yarn in there and make a flap. You did! Oh,
So this is a tiny crochet hook since I do a lot of socks. This is a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. So just in case I'm really incredibly desperate and I really drop a stitch. Or I find that I dropped a stitch 15 rows down and continued. Have you ever done that before?
Yes.
It annoys me. So anyways, that's all that I have in here.
I love it.
I need to get a little pair of scissors.
Okay.
But other than that, my emergency kit is set.
You know what? Let's go. Let's do a date sometime next week.
Okay.
Okay? The kids will be in school, right?
Thank the Lord.
Let's do like Thursday. Maybe let's do Friday.
Okay.
After our podcast.
Yes.
Okay, there's the Cecilia Samplers shop.
Uh-huh.
And she has some scissors that are small, and they are oh so sharp and wonderful. I got a pair last time I was in there.
Yeah.
And then we can look at sampler stuff in honor of the sampler girl. Maybe we could pick up something.
It's a date. Mm-hmm.
Because Tanya sells sampler patterns, but she doesn't sell the stuff.
You know, I have some stuff.
Do you really?
But, you know, there's always room for more.
Do you know if you take on that hobby, you can get hand-dyed embroidery floss?
What? Well, you know, why doesn't that surprise me? Because you can get hand-dyed yarn, so why not embroidery floss?
Someone's taking it to a whole new level, so it's really fun.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how about if you tell us about this week's postcard from the Ozarks?
My reason for the bags under my eyes. So, you know, it's been work this summer, not really much off time. So on Wednesday, we took a drive. It was a gorgeous day. Mm-hmm. The skies were so blue, and we were deciding to kind of explore. And we took this one road, and my husband used to work on the back of a trash truck. So he knows a lot of these back roads and fun places. So he takes me on this road that ends me up at a bottom of a creek. Mm-hmm. And it's called Sycamore Church Road.
Okay.
And on that road, go figure, Sycamore Church.
Go figure.
It's a log church. Been around since 1933, which will sound like nothing to people from Germany and England, but in Missouri, let's see, 1933, I looked it up, was like 51 years after Branson was founded.
Mm-hmm. That's not very long.
Not very long. But, you know, we were a very isolated place.
Yes.
And so it was difficult for people to get in here, and, you know, unless you were willing to kind of take trails to get back here. It wasn't like we were easily accessible with the freeway like we are now.
And even it was not that many years ago that they finally made the freeway into Branson,
right?
Like 2 lanes on each side.
What was that like in the 90s or something?
Yeah.
So it was just a little 2-lane road before then, and it was very hazardous
and very trafficky.
Yes. And so I thought, I had heard that the little Sycamore Log Church is open.
Oh.
So you can go in anytime, and you can pray, or you can look at how beautiful it is, or you can just relax. Hey, we could go down there and knit.
Okay.
Yeah. But
wouldn't be the first time I've knitted in a church. I'm just saying.
I wanted to take all of you to our quaint little Sycamore Log Church, found out a little bit about it. It is so charming. And I think you're really going to love it. I'm definitely going back.
Okay. Can I come back with you?
Let's do it.
All right.
I think it'd be really fun.
Wonderful.
I think they're going to love it.
Well, I hope you do.
And, you know, can I mention one more thing?
Yes.
I convinced Brianne and my husband to sing together.
With you?
With me.
Mm-hmm.
We will be singing as the background music for this little jaunt we're taking, a little pilgrimage to Sycamore Log Church. Mm-hmm. And we used to sing together in church, and I've lost my voice, so just forgive the cranky voice. That's not it. Crackling, because I'm not in shape. But anyway, what a fun treat to sing with you guys. Wasn't that neat?
I loved it. I miss it so much.
Yeah. I mean, Brianne was probably 6 when we first started singing together. She could carry the melody with all of us singing harmony, and no problem. She's always been naturally musically gifted.
Oh, thank you.
So it's very fun. It'll be very light, I think, in the background, but it was fun for us. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us this week.
That's it.
I can't believe another episode is done.
Wasn't it fun?
It was good.
Yeah.
And we're so glad that you joined us here today. If you're brand new, we're so glad that you're here. And if you're returning, we're so glad that you've come back, and we hope that you continue to join us. Please find us on Ravelry.
Yes.
It's Ravelry.com, and we are Knitworthy podcast group, and Ravelry is really easy to navigate, and you'll find groups, search for Knitworthy podcast, and there we are.
Yes.
And
yeah, can I just say one more thing before we
Yeah.
wind up? For anybody out there, if you're feeling desperate, if you're really super depressed and thinking about doing desperate things, would you reach out to somebody and let them know?
yeah, absolutely.
And if you like, private message, Brianne or I will pray with you. And, don't go through life alone.
No,
There's a lot of people there who are willing to help.
absolutely.
And we may not be able to take away whatever is an issue in your life, but we can certainly support you in prayer.
Absolutely.
So,
And you know what? We need to remind them
what?
that
You are
knitworthy.
knitworthy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bring joy to your servant, Lord,
Bring joy to your servant, Lord,
for I put my trust in you.
before I put my trust in you.
Psalm 86,
Psalm 86,
verse 4.
verse 4.
Good job, buddy.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee.
This week's postcard from the Ozarks takes us to Sycamore Log Church in Branson. Head a few miles down Sycamore Church Road, and you will come to a picturesque setting along Rourke Creek. This is where a group of good old country folks gathered in October of 1933 for a brush arbor meeting that would eventually become Sycamore Log Church. Brush arbor meetings were outdoor gatherings. They offered neighborly fellowship, gospel singing, and powerful preaching under the gentle shade of a rustic shelter made of forged materials.
Wonder, consider all the works thy hand hath made.
While this brush arbor served its purpose, the good folks who gathered there knew the weather would soon put an end to it all if they didn't act fast. They needed a building to meet in. So they pooled their resources to make it happen. Folks donated what they had to build it. Mrs. Sutton donated the land. They hauled sycamore logs from near the creek, uphill by mule, then worked together to build it. Once it was finished, they placed simple pews on the swept dirt floor and fashioned a log into a pulpit for the preacher. In the end, they spent just $18 to build it.
How great thou art! How great thou art! Then sing.
The church still holds services today. You will notice that last week, 7 people attended. My favorite thing about this old church is that they leave it open. It's always open. They invite passers-by to come in and pray.
How great thou art! When through the woods
Flowers sit on shelves that once held candles or lanterns. Lace curtains frame the windows. There is a Bible open on the altar. An old piano stands by, ready to lead voices in a rousing chorus. No fancy preacher ever praised the God of heaven and earth from anything finer than this sturdy log pulpit. It holds the Sycamore Log Church guest book, to which I added my name. Just above my name, another visitor who made this pilgrimage wrote his name, and a heartfelt prayer request for a loved one. It was in an important and prominent place that I found this scripture. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. Psalm 121, verse 1. This verse has given hope to many folks over the years. It symbolizes a legacy of faith in the Lord, who lovingly helps his children when they are in need. This is a solemn place. This is a sacred place. This little log chapel in the woods. We hope you enjoyed this postcard from the Ozarks. You'll find links about Sycamore Log Church and everything else we talked about today at www.knitworthypodcast.com. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Y'all come back.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul,